Welcome, Gemini and Gemini crosswatchers, to your singles and new love reading. Okay, so thanks for stopping by my channel today, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. So we're going to look at where you are, what's holding you back, a past wound to embrace, to let that go. Yikes. And then what's coming up for you and what you have to look forward to. And then we'll go into the next love interest for Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising, and Venus sign. And of course, that will be time stamped in the box below. There we go. So as always, please take this as it resonates, and always use your intuition when making decisions about your life, because this is a general reading. And crosswatchers, you're welcome to flip the roles if that resonates better with you. Wow. Okay. So, Gemini, we have the Six of Cups reversed as where you are now. So the Six of Cups, I was going to say Six of Cups. Six of Cups, I don't know why I can't talk today, talks about that kind of like nostalgic, going back to childhood sort of energy. And it does feel here that to a certain extent, it's not a like waiting for the other shoe to drop. I feel like to a certain extent, you seem to be waiting to almost have some sort of victory here. I want to say like over somebody who may have turned away from you. I feel to a certain extent that there's a message here that it's almost like it's not that this person turned away from you. I feel like you may not know what this person was really turning away from and what their true motivation was. It's almost like they kind of felt like they had to, walk into the mountains and go on a vision quest or journey, or I apologize if I'm messing that up, or the term up. And part of me wants to say find themselves, but it actually feels like they needed to sort themselves out. It's almost like they were a jigsaw puzzle, or one of those, that abstract artist, Picasso, how the bits of the face are all over the place. It's like they needed to sort themselves out. And I feel like there's, some unanswered questions from your perspective when it comes to this person and this situation. And I feel like because you weren't kind of kept in the loop, it seems to have you in a pretty defensive energy. I feel like it feels like you're kind of looking at this like, I need the truth. I need to know what was really happening. And I don't know if this helps clear that up, Gemini, but there is a message here that it wasn't about you. It's like something happened with you that pushed this person out, but it doesn't feel like it was something that you did. It's not your fault, you know what I mean? If you're blaming yourself. And I feel like to a certain extent, you may be trying to kind of block the past out here, but it feels like it's like you're trying to move on from it, but I feel like you still kind of can't help but look back, and it's almost like with a longing for like a split second, and then when you remember what happened, it's like you kind of straighten yourself up and you block it out again. So Gemini, I feel like with this Page of Swords as what's holding you back, it actually feels like you feel that you're fighting the good fight, but you're fighting it on your own. And it's like it doesn't seem to be making you feel, weaker or lonely. It just feels like you know that what you're doing right now is something that you need to do on your own. It's almost like in the same way that this person has to go on this journey to find whatever they're looking for. I feel like you're on a journey to let something go. It's like if you're somebody that, I'm hearing that someone has walked away from you, not this person, but I feel like somebody else has also walked away from you in the past. And it's almost like there's a really vigilant energy coming from you that almost kind of like, I deserve the truth. I deserve to know what's going on. And I feel like in a way it's you standing up for yourself, not just for this person, but I feel like it's almost that energy of it was what you wished you did with that person in the way back past, right? So it's like you're not going to stand here and have the past repeat itself. Um, but I do feel to a certain extent, Gemini, that if you let yourself, just bear with me with this sentence, if you let yourself feel what you're feeling, and kind of allow your intuition to speak a little bit louder, I actually feel like you're going to know exactly what's up with this person. It almost feels like a little bit defeating that it wasn't you, that it's not your fault that this ended the way that it did. And I mean, not that you want to be at fault, right? But it's, oh, sorry, looking at the cards, not the camera. It's not that you want to be at fault, but it just feels very unfair. It's like you didn't do anything wrong, but you're still losing something. So it's like, where's the fairness in that? So what to let go of? The Eight of Cups talks about walking away from something that's like it's almost there, it's almost everything that you want, but it's not quite, right? It's like I almost want to say it's more, instead of you feeling like you have everything that you need, it's like it's something you could live with, but it would eventually develop some resentment. Um, I feel here that from what I'm seeing, okay, is it possibly time to extend forgiveness to these people who have left you behind without enough of an explanation, without telling you what's going on, without treating you with the respect and dignity that you deserve? I feel like that may be a bigger piece than you realize. It's like forgiving these people for not realizing what um, their exit, or at least the way that they exit your life, how that would affect you. Um, it's almost like because you are who you are, sometimes people might um, it's like they might just assume that it's not going to be that big of a deal, or like for I mean that may be for some of them, but it actually feels like this person wasn't just thinking, or sorry, they just weren't thinking about you. They were more focused on themselves. Um, and like, of course, we should all be focused on ourselves, but it's almost like they were not taking into consideration the wake that they would leave behind with their speedy exit. So I feel like going back to this card, how it was saying that you kept trying to turn away from something here, Gemini. It may be helpful. Of course, you decide for your own life, right? I mean, you would anyway, but I'm just supporting and encouraging that. Um, I feel that you may be pushing away some of the pain associated with this because it's like you don't want to give it any more of your energy. You don't want to lend it any more credence, but I feel like that's why it may be popping up in your head more than you'd like it to. And I feel there's a message here that it's almost like if you accept this last little bit, um, that it'll actually be a huge relief. It's like it'll be the last time that dam breaks, and then it's almost like you can really get up and move on. So, what's coming up for you? And what do you have to look forward to? We have the Five of Wands and the Emperor. So, Gemini, um, I feel like you're going to see yourself as who you really were in the past. I know that sounds strange, but it feels like you're looking at the situation almost like you seem to realize that even in the midst of the more challenging times in your life, or the times that you felt that you were, you know, not putting in enough effort, or you weren't doing enough, or you were somehow losing at the game, right? Like the game of life. um, not that you're playing games, right? I feel like you actually see that even in those moments when you feel like you weren't doing much, you were actually still trying. You know what I mean? It's like there's some people that life kind of goes downhill and they're like, you know what? F it. Let's just roll down the hill. Who even cares anymore? And Gemini, I feel like you may have never hit that spot. It feels like it's just not something that's in you. And listen, we all, can feel a little bit defeated sometimes, but it just feels like um, if you let go and just let yourself fall down that hill, it almost feels like you would be feeling like you're handing control and power of yourself over to somebody else or something else. So it's like that's even when you feel that you were doing that, I feel like you're going to see that actually you weren't. Um, I feel to a certain extent that um, here's the thing, okay, Gemini. Um, I feel like you're going to see that about yourself because either you're in that right now or you're about to be, or it's like you're about to walk into a situation where it's like the shiz hit the fan, and I feel like you walk in, and normally you'd be like, okay, we need some damage control, and you would kind of like take over and get things moving. And I feel like there's a message here that you don't do that. It's like if these people want to come to you for help, then great, you'll help them. But um, it feels like you're drawing some really healthy boundaries when it comes to that sort of thing, because it's almost like you realize that if you go in and you kind of get all of like you just go in and help people without asking, it's like they're not going to learn to ask, right? They'll just expect somebody to eventually come along and fix it for them, and you don't want to set them up for failure like that. So we do have the King of Wands at the bottom of the deck here, Gemini. I feel like this might be specific, so I'm just going to say that. But I feel like there's someone here that it's like they noticed you noticing them. um, and I feel like they seem to be not wanting to look in your direction. It's almost like they feel that if they turn around and look at you, that they'll somehow be like transfixed and they won't be able to look away. So I do feel that this person seems to be holding back from you almost because it seems like they're not ready. Not that they're not emotionally ready, but I feel like they're dealing with something else right now. And it feels like it's something that they, maybe not that they're ashamed of, but it just feels like it's something they want to handle by themselves. It's almost this feeling of like they know they're being watched, so they're being really careful. Um, but it does feel like they are shutting you out a bit here, I'll be honest. So can we get the next love interest for Gemini Sun? Seven of Swords reversed and Two of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So just a second here. So there's something a little bit questionable about this person's behavior, it's almost like they come in really sly. They act like they might actually be almost like a little bit sleazy or something. Um, but it's like they seem to be giving you the truth. They're just delivering it in a way that makes it seem a bit slimy. And I feel like it's kind of feels like it's a bit of a turnoff for you, if I'm being honest. Hold on for a second here. I'm just deciding which deck to clarify this with. Okay. What's going on? This. Oh, all right then. Oh, like balls. um. So okay. Sorry if that was offensive to anybody. Um. It just was kind of a knee-jerk reaction to getting this devil energy at the bottom of the deck for you. So I feel here that your person is it feels like obviously what they want here is a new beginning with you, right? Because we have the Seven of Swords clarified by the, or sorry, Seven of Swords reversed clarified by the Fool. So I feel like this person wants to be open. They want things to kind of move in the right direction, but it's almost like they're looking at you. They want to pursue it, but they don't know how open they can be, who you're connected to. It's like this person thinks a lot. You know what I mean? It's one of those people that they think 50, 60 steps in the future in every, which way that can go. So I feel like this person is somebody that maybe when they get into that thinking place, they're not able to move more because they think so much. And I feel like you may see them being, you know, um, unusually or extraordinarily attentive to, um, nonverbal communication like body language and stuff like that. And I feel like that's because they're looking for signs of I guess you could say like devious behavior. I feel like this person, this might be specific, if somebody makes jokes about this person or that sort of thing, it's like this person may laugh, but they're gonna file it for next time. You know what I mean? It's like um, they seem to, it's not necessarily an ego thing. It feels to a certain extent that it's more about this person um, feeling like they want to be prepared next time. And I do feel that they may be wanting to show you a side of them that's a lot more upbeat than they are. I feel like they may not want to show you the serious side or the serious, okay, dude. That was upright. Hold on for a second, because now we have the moon. Just a second here, Gemini. Gemini, it's not a statement on you or anything you've done, but I feel like this person is worried that someone's going to come in and pull some shiz or lie or deceive them. I feel like they may be looking at the whole world through a lens of who's going to screw me over next and how bad is it going to be, right? And it's like if ever you've seen, um, the Terminator or something, where the actual Terminator is looking through that, like they're in the game or whatever. You know what I mean? I feel like this person looks through the lens of trying to figure out, almost when I say like who's in cahoots and who's this and who's that. And I feel like to a certain extent, this person seems to be somebody that responds in kind. However, it's like they respond in kind to what that sort of thinking process thinks you're doing rather than what's actually happening. And I do feel to a certain extent that this person may really struggle with having kind of like a happy, light, like a real new beginning here because they're still in this really protective energy. So We're going to do Gemini Moon is the next love interest for those their Moon in Gemini. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry. Oh, wow. Well, look at you, Moon in Gemini, you lucky ducks. So we have the Ace of Cups as your person and the Ace of Wands as what's at the bottom of the deck. So, I mean, the Ace of Cups, that is wanting to start a new beginning with you, right? I feel like this is somebody that it's like they may, I almost want to say they seem to have a lot to say, but they don't. I feel like they may talk a lot about emotional stuff, but it's like there's this whole other world that's going on underneath all of that for them that I feel that they don't really talk about. They do seem to be quite fired up by you here. It's almost like, it may not be the actual situation, but it's the energetics of it. It's almost like this person may be a bit of an introvert and they're looking to you as the extrovert to kind of like, it feels to a certain extent they want somebody to kind of invest in them and pull that sort of stuff out. It's almost like they want to tell their story, they want to communicate all of that, but it's like they don't want to talk if nobody's listening. So look at that, eh? We get a and on the Ace of Cups. If I had a fan, oh look, there it is again. If I had one of those fans, I would be doing that right now. I feel like this person, hold on for a second. It almost feels like from their perspective, they seem to feel like they've been guided in your direction, that they've been, it's like if they were going along the path, right? It's like every time they tried to veer from the path that's been leading them to you, it's like they kind of get shoved back up there by life, right? So I feel like to them, they seem to be really hoping that the path that they're on is the one that leads them to you. I feel like there is a little bit there of, it's like they're pretty sure, but I feel like they're, in a certain way, they're trying to protect themselves from, having a tough time if, the connection with you actually ends up being another thing that has to push them back up onto a certain path. I feel like they know that that's different, like they can feel it intuitively. But because it's happened so many times, it's like this person is to the point that even though they have a crap ton that they want to say, that they want to communicate, it's like they have all of these world views. And it's like this is the kind of person that would talk about philosophy and those sorts of things. I don't know what else, intellectuals talk about, but you know what I mean. And I feel like it'll almost feel refreshing to this person that they'll be able to do that again. But I feel like it'll just start off like a little drip or a trickle of water. And I feel like it'll take time for them to get to where they feel like they can kind of tell you anything. I also feel that this person may have some insecurities when it comes to physical chemistry. I feel like they know, in their headspace that it's unreasonable, but I feel like they may have been with somebody, and now this could be from when they were young, or it could be from a previous relationship, or, hopefully not, but it could be both. Either way, I feel like people around them have been very critical of their physical body. It's like they might have, someone might have made fun of their chest, regardless of this person's gender. Somebody made this person feel like it was just a better idea to round their shoulders to kind of hide themselves a little bit here. And I do feel to a certain extent that this person has worked through that. But it does feel, it's like maybe how they feel about themselves, they've worked through it, but that thought is still there. Um, this is super sweet. Oh, okay. So you know how up here we have where you are right now is the Six of Cups reversed. This person seems to want to come in, and it's like gently and gingerly, they seem to want to offer you to get back into the Six of Cups upright, right? That really nostalgic, sweet energy, but they do feel shy. They do feel like somebody that it's like they're not going to push it. They seem to be the kind of person that it's like they'll offer it, but it's almost like they'll offer it and then they can't look at you until you answer because it's like it's almost like when you do something and then you close your eyes and you're like, okay, I hope it works. And it's like you just can't really watch it happen. It's that kind of a thing. They do seem to really want something here. I feel like you would probably like it if this person was maybe a bit more forward, but I'm just not really seeing that from them. I feel like they almost feel that they don't have the right to be, to kind of come at you with that passionate energy sort of thing. And it's not anything that they've observed about you. It's like they don't want to put that on you. It's almost like there's a little bit of uh, almost like a complex that this person has. It feels like that's too harsh a word, so please keep that in mind. But it's like they seem to have this thing where it's like they try to hold the passion back. Maybe they were made to feel silly for wanting to be passionate with their partner or wanting to, try certain things. I'm not really sure. Of course, depending on this person, their experiences, and you and your experiences, but that will be different. I just feel like this person, it may take them time to get to a place where they are comfortable enough to ask for what they really want. It's like they might just try to get to know you better for a while rather than trying to insert themselves. You know what I mean? It's like this is the kind of person that's going to come in and ask you lots of questions. And I feel like when you're done asking questions and you want to know about them, it's like they're going to get one word answers. Um, and it's like because you kind of expect the conversation to be reciprocal here. So for those of you with a rising Gemini or Gemini rising, however you say that, Gemini rising. Oh, interesting. Oh, so we have the Sun or Knight of Cups and the Two of Swords. Yeah, I'm not so sure that you're going to see this situation clearly. I feel like this person seems to. Okay. They seem to not want to look at something in their own life here that like kind of needs to be addressed before something happens with you. I feel like this person just kind of wants to cut everything off with the past and start fresh. Um, it does feel, may not be the actual situation, but it feels a little bit like this person is looking for a rebound sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's like they're looking for someone to um, make them feel good about themselves, but it doesn't really feel like this person is here for the long haul. I feel like they're here to try to see what they can get from you. Not necessarily that this person's going to steal money from you, but I feel like they do seem to want to fill their bucket as much as they can until it's time for them to leave. It's almost like this person might come up to you and be like, listen, I'm moving out of the city at the end of the summer, but do you wanna, you know what I mean? And I do feel that this person, to a certain extent, may develop feelings for you should you decide to go down that path, because of course that's your choice. But I feel like this person has made a pretty firm commitment that they are going to be going in that other direction, you know, at the end of the summer. So there is a message here that it's like maybe this person is offering you their cup, but it's a limited time offer, if that makes sense. Hold on for a second. Okay. Oops. Can we get a clarifier for this person? Just want to make sure it was just the one. So we do have the Empress here, and the Page of Wands came out for your person. So yeah, I feel like this person, there's a lot of physical attraction. They seem to be, you know, attracted to your, maybe they're like a bum and legs sort of person, whatever that is, but they seem to be quite attracted to that on you. And I feel like it's almost like there's a little question in their mind if you would even be attracted back to them, but if you would also be attracted to them. They seem to feel pretty hopeful about approaching you, but it's almost like they're kind of half expecting you to say no. I feel like they kind of feel like you won't see the value in what they're offering. There is a message here, Gemini, to be compassionate with this person, you know, as much as you can, because I feel like they actually may hurt a lot easier than you think. I feel like there's somebody that's a little bit older that seems to be, it's almost like your person is trying to follow in their parents' footsteps. And they seem to be, at this time anyway, willing to sacrifice everything and anything that they have to follow in that person's footsteps. So for those of you with your Venus in Gemini, oh my goodness, hold on for a second. Oh my gosh, okay. A few threes for you guys here. So we have the Eight of Swords. Whoa. Then we have the Three of Wands with the Three of Pentacles. So 1 second here. I feel like you're going to have to make a choice. And what's interesting, it's like there seems to be an offer here that window for that is closing. And I feel like it's closing rapidly. It's like part of you wants to kind of push towards it, but I feel like most of you actually doesn't. And that's why you're just kind of letting it close. It's almost like you'll be relieved when the door to that opportunity is closed, because it seems to be actually quite tempting. It's almost like you're flattered but not interested kind of deal. I'm just seeing 222 on the clock there. And then this Three of Pentacles, I feel like you seem to see this option as the safer bet. Hang on. Not necessarily that this person or element can offer you something that's safer, but it seems like it's because it isn't something that you have to race towards, and you can kind of take your time to, you know, mosey on over there. I feel like that seems to give you a bit more security, because there isn't this rush, there isn't the push, there isn't the like, oh my gosh, I got to do this now. I also feel that you kind of see it as, it's like with the first option here, that it's a limited time offer kind of thing. I feel like you know what would be on the other side of that, and I feel like you may have already said no to it. You may have already kind of like, you know what, no. Or kind of just like, you know what, it just isn't really, it's almost like it's not worth the effort sort of thing. And that's not to knock if this is a person or something, or if this is a person, right? It's just whatever they have to offer right now is not worth the sacrifices that you would have to make to get there. But I feel like with this other one, it just feels like you could build on it. It feels like there's a lot more flexibility in it. And I feel like you seem to see it as there's a lot more unknown. Um, and I feel like that actually seems to be the most intriguing to you. And I feel, Gemini, um, that if you are brutally honest with yourself, I actually feel that whoever this option is, whatever this option is, it is pulling you, and not in, just physical chemistry sort of way. It's almost like in your gut feels like it's being pulled towards this option. It feels like it's saying like, um, that this is you going on the right path. And I feel like you may see that it's like there's a possibility that, excuse me, that this journey may be a little bit more perilous. But I feel like you seem to see it as like, with this option, you know exactly what you're getting. For example, may not be the actual situation. It's like you're getting that white picket fence, and that's great. But I actually feel that where this leads, maybe it's safe, but it doesn't feel, it's like you'll always wonder what would have happened with this Three of Pentacles. So I think I'll leave it there, Gemini. If this reading resonated, I hope that it was helpful and brought you some clarity. So, of course, I will have those mini reads on Sunday coming out, and then I do have a new type of read coming out, so please keep an eye out for that. And if I didn't say it at the beginning, private reads are available now, so my email's below in the description box. And that's it for now. We'll see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.